games I used to play in my childhood. Battle for Bikini Bottom. And yep, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom is my favorite SpongeBob game, guys. And just last year, guys, it got a remake made by THQ Nordic and Purple Lamp Studios. Sorry, guys, the rehydrated box cover has it in a different language, bubbly sponge. Yeah, I'm sorry, I accidentally did it. This made it in like PowerPoint. So, yeah, guys, so today I'm going to be discussing how I would have remade Battle for Bikini Bottom. Here, guys, so here's how I would remake Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated if I was in charge of the game. Now, guys, I would keep the plot and all mostly original dialogue of the game. I would add new ones and also get Clancy Brown to, of course, voice Mr. Krabs. The playable characters would be SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, and Gary. These would all have the same abilities as in the original game pretty much. And from Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Gary, they would have their attacks from the multiplayer mode. Patrick, though, would actually change his moves, because I would actually add some movie implements to where Patrick will be the only character to actually be able to upgrade his moves. Patrick can keep his ground slam attack from the original Battle for Bikini Bottom and not add the butt smash that he had. I would also bring back Patrick's spin attack from the movie game and the cartwheel. Both of these can be upgraded, the spin attack and the cartwheel, to be like the ones that were in the movie game. Also, guys, I would redo all the NPC models, just not really the main ones like Gary, Mr. Krabs, Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy. I would mainly change the NPCs you just see like walking around, like in Jellyfish Fields and downtown Bikini Bottom. I'll change them, guys, to be more like the show. I would add NPCs in like Fred, Bubble Bass, maybe even Nat Peterson or Harold, or other people we just kind of see as background fish in Bikini Bottom. I'd also maybe add Doodle Bob and Squilliam as well as into this game since because somebody by the name a speedrunner world record holder said that we'd like to try to stay towards the first 3 seasons for this game and try not to bring in newer references. And yep. So I might add Doodle Bob since there are mods that have Doodle Bob as a playable character, but I didn't add him as being an NPC background character or a character you can talk to, as well as Squilliam, Pearl, Karen. I don't know if I would add Karen. I mean, she does have a nice cameo appearance in the Chum Bucket Lab in the first cutscene of the game and at the end. And well, guys, let's dive deeper into this game of how I would have remade it. Sorry, where it says click add text, but here's Bikini Bottom with the first area. It would remain pretty much the same as the original, guys, and SpongeBob would be the only player. Also, for the multiplayer, guys, is there would actually be multiplayer in the main campaign, where you can have a split screen instead of how they handled it with Rehydrated's multiplayer and Plankton's Robotic Revenge and Hero Pants. And the first area remained the same, and the only character would be playable would be SpongeBob. Then we go to Jellyfish Fields. To keep the plot of the Jellyfish Fields, SpongeBob will start out the first area. In the first area, the level will be exactly the same as it was in Rehydrated / the original. And well, in the second area, SpongeBob will still rescue Patrick, and to stay to the plot of the game with the dialogue from the original. Well, SpongeBob, as you remember, he said he's pooped and that Patrick should continue on for a bit. So Patrick would continue on into the third area where we meet Mrs. Puff. Together, SpongeBob and Patrick would play together and get through the rest of Jellyfish Fields. At the end of the area, they would fight the King Jellyfish boss. With the King Jellyfish boss, how it would work is that SpongeBob and Patrick could attack the King Jellyfish, but guys, it would only be like, say the King Jellyfish has 3 hits, Like after his first wave of attacks and both SpongeBob and Patrick hit him, that wouldn't count as two hits and two damages to the boss's health. That would only still count as one. SpongeBob can attack the King Jellyfish by mainly using the jump and spinning onto the thing. Same for Patrick. Maybe SpongeBob could use the cruise bubble if you for some reason decided to come back. And that would be the end of Jellyfish Fields. Next up, we move on to downtown Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob and Patrick would start the level. Well, and then, guys, when we get to talk to Gary, Sandy would join them, and the four would finish the level. How I would handle some of the rooftop segments is where Patrick can use his third fruit to get across gaps with the Patrick Teeter-Totter. Sandy can fly across the gaps, and over on the other side there would be some buttons for both Sandy and Patrick to hit that will unlock platforms for SpongeBob and Squidward to get across. And that would end downtown Bikini Bottom. Now, next up we'll have Goo Lagoon. And you can see it right here. Goo Lagoon, guys, would remain exactly the same. The playable characters will only be SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy, and Squidward. Those characters would all be playable. Then after the next thing we'll have, guys, just a second, will be the Robo Squidward boss. The boss fight would work exactly how it was in the concept art of the game. It would work exactly as the concept art of the original Battle for Bikini Bottom. Won't make it like the Rehydrated's multiplayer or the Squidbot from Truth or Square. And the playable characters to fight this boss would be SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Miss Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Gary. Now, I don't know how the boss fight would work and how they would deal damage to it. I would just leave that to the developers and how it was in the concept art. Then, guys, I have another picture for the second area. But then, guys, we have the second area of the Bikini Bottom hub world. The second area would include Mr. Krabs' house where you have a defeat all the robots challenge with Pearl giving you a golden spatula at the end. And also, guys, we would have the Bargain Mart. This would remain exact. This would be something, and guys, we'd have inside of there a bonus videotape, which would show off the making of the game, like maybe a beta, a pre-alpha, stuff like that. It would work similar to how it did in Employee of the Month. And this would, guys, include more levels in this. And then, guys, our next level, well, the first level you'd play in this next area, the hub, would be Glove World. I have no idea how the level would work. I would leave that up to the developers and the concept art that there is in this of the game. So, yep, we would have Glove World. Then, guys, after that, we would have Goofy Goobers would come back. And it would be exactly the same as in the movie game, which is but we would have and take out Mindy. We would replace all the slammers and foggers with the hammers and chompbot robots. Replace all the wooden crates with the wooden tikis, and replace the treasure chest with socks and Goofy Goobers with Goofy Goober tokens with golden spatulas. And it adds 2 more in the level. Well, the 2 more Goofy Goober tokens in the level. I don't know how it would work, but we might add another one in there. But we would still have an end at the boss fight where you have to fight. This is a crazy idea, but you would have to fight the world record speedrun holder of the game. I'm not allowed to mention other YouTubers' names, but you probably know who the world record speedrunner holder is, where you'd have to fight him. The world record holder of Battle for Bikini Bottom does not like the movie game, and so since Goofy Goobers is that, you would fight the world record holder of Battle for Bikini Bottom at the end of the level. And add 2 more Goofy Goober tokens. The Goofy Goober tokens remain exactly the same, where SpongeBob would have to come back with the cruise bubble to complete a ring challenge. SpongeBob would have to come back with that. Now for the Up the Chocolate Creek mission, it would work exactly the same, guys. But guys, as you would have to have some characters to go hit the 4 buttons. SpongeBob would have come back and use the cruise bubble. Sandy can fly over there and hit the buttons. Patrick can use the throw fruit, and Squidward can use his clarinet power-up. Also, guys, the weights would be replaced with shiny objects. Objects, either like if there's a red weight laying around the level, well, that would be replaced with the red shiny object, and you know how and so forth and so on. Playable characters in that level would be SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Gary. The last level of that hub area would be Mrs. Puff's boating school. Mrs. Puff's boating school would have, I don't know how they design it. We might hide golden spatulas and socks, like maybe in like bathrooms and lockers. Maybe even a little robot fight challenge in some of the classrooms. And maybe I might add a SpongeBob ring challenge in there when you go across the boating school course. And so forth and so on. Also, guys, this would also mean all characters could get up to 7 pairs of underwear, guys, since we would add another pair of golden underwear in each area of the hub. And I would also get to increase the bikini bottom levels total spatulas to 10, and I'd increase the sock total of the entire game to 100. Then, guys, we would have the Poseidon. All characters will be playable in all the phases. The fight would work completely as it normally did with the characters being playable as SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs. Now, unfortunately, guys, in the first phase, everyone could actually contribute to the fight by doing their ground slam attack, except for Sandy. Sandy's main job during this entire fight would be just to dodge. But phases 2 and 3 would be where some of the other characters like Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Gary start to become kind of useless, and they're just there to dodge. While Patrick can do what he does in his phase, and SpongeBob what he does in his third phase. The third area of the hub would be exactly the same as like the second area of the hub in the original, and the only playable character would be SpongeBob. Rock Bottom would be the next level. Rock Bottom would have SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy, and Squidward to be playable. Those would be the only playable characters and remain exactly the same. Let's move on. The Mermalair would have the exact same will be exactly the same with SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy all being playable. This is where also, guys, you would fight the prawn boss fight. How they would fight prawn is these characters. SpongeBob can use his bubble bowl, Patrick can use and throw the throw fruit, and maybe we can add a lasso animation in for Sandy so Sandy can lasso. Next up would be Sand Mountain. And with all the ski slopes, guys, how it would work is it's kind of like race. Oops, that's not supposed to happen. So Sand Mountain would work exactly the same with the sliding challenges. Where you go down each 3 of the slopes, guys. But the playable character in that one would be SpongeBob, Sandy, and Mr. Krabs. Now, what would happen in those phases, guys, is with the sliding. How it worked is that the time challenges. If one of the characters slide, like let's say we're sliding down and SpongeBob falls off the slide, but Sandy and Mr. Krabs are still sliding. You do not lose the time challenge. Just as long as all 3 characters don't die in the middle of the time challenge, you will be safe to complete all the time challenges. The next level, Industrial Park. This is where, guys, the phases will actually be having different characters being playable to be in this to keep the same plot as the original game. In the phase 1, since Squidward is frozen, SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, and Mr. Krabs and Gary can all go out and fight the Robo Patrick. They can all just hit Robo Patrick on the back with their spin attack for both SpongeBob and Patrick. Sandy with maybe her karate kick, Mr. Krabs with his little swordfish, and Gary with his frying pan. Phase 2, due to SpongeBob as well being frozen, Patrick, Sandy, and Mr. Krabs and Gary can all go out and fight. Sandy can pull down the swingers to bring down boxes for both Patrick, Sandy, and Mr. Krabs and Gary to come down and defeat the boss. Phase 3, guys, will actually have SpongeBob Bob be playable. Well, we can use the Bubble Bolt to hit Robo Patrick. Patrick, guys, will actually have a Freezy Fruit to actually go out and hit Robo Patrick and freeze the goo to go out there and hit Robo Patrick. Mr. Krabs and Gary would also be playable, and they could also go on the goo and go hit Robo Patrick. And yeah, so that would be how it would work. Squidward doesn't get to be playable in that phase or any of the phases, as well as Sandy, since Sandy would go and take care of Squidward after the second phase, and so to keep like the originals, those two would just go off. The fourth area would remain exactly the same as the third area would, and the only playable character would be SpongeBob. Next up, everybody's favorite, the Kelp Forest. It would remain mainly the same, but SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, and Gary would all get to be playable. Also, that was kind of a lie. I would add some stuff to make it the Kelp Forest a bit better. The thing I would add is for more bus stops in the Kelp Caves. And the same things apply to the Sand Mountain things to the Kelp Vine slide with the sliding. So yep, that would pretty much be the end of that level. Next up would be the Flying Dutchman's Graveyard. The only playable characters would still be SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, and Gary. Well, with SpongeBob and with the Flying Dutchman fight, how that would work is that the Flying Dutchman fight, how they would attack, Sandy would be the one to attack with her lasso. SpongeBob, Patrick, and Gary, their main job would just be to dodge. And also, in order for Patrick and SpongeBob and Gary to get over to the other side where the Dutchman Arena battle is, Sandy can fly over there. Patrick can use his Patrick Tater Totter, and as well as over there, like with the downtown rooftops, there would be a button for them to hit, and then SpongeBob could come over. Then the next level, SpongeBob's Dream, would actually be kind of interesting. SpongeBob and Sandy would be the only two playable characters. But guys, Patrick's Dream, guys, will actually make it like BFBB Mix. BFBB Mix is a mod made by the YouTuber who made it. You can probably go check out his channel if you look up BFBB Mix. So Battle for Bikini Bottom Mix, guys, it has Patrick's Dream, who incorporates both the original game and the concept art, where you get the original game's thing, but at the end you can go to Patrick's mind to where it actually even does even more referencing into the actual episode with the actual horse riding thing in the actual sleepy time. I feel like that would be pretty good to for that level for SpongeBob's Dream. Now the Chumbucket Lab would have for the first phase the Robo SpongeBob fight here. In that playable first phase, we'll have SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs to go out and fight the phase. Now, in order to fight SpongeBob and Robo Sponge in the first phase, the two on his hands can be practically hit by anybody with their ground slam attack, except for Sandy. But then once the two on the hands are destroyed, SpongeBob can maybe use the Bubble Bolt to defeat some of the other green lights on Robo SpongeBob, while Sandy could possibly fly out there and hit it. Patrick may have some throw fruits. Squidward can use his clarinet power. Mr. Krabs and Gary, I do not know what they have to say to them. After that, guys, that would be the second phase of the fight. The second phase where the characters would split up. They'd bring back the Robo SpongeBob Muscle Bob scrapped phase that was in the original game that was scrapped with the Robo Muscle Bob Pants fight. In that fight, guys, will be Patrick, Squidward, and Gary will all be playing in that phase. Then, meanwhile, on the inside of Robo Sponge's head would be playable. SpongeBob, Sandy, and Mr. Krabs would be in there fighting the inside of Robo Plankton. In order to defeat Robo Plankton, obviously for the robots to defeat them, it all remain the same. Mainly for some of the Cruise Bubble segments, where SpongeBob has used the Cruise Bubble to defeat the Chuck on the other island, or a Duplicatotron. He can be trying to do that while Sandy and Mr. Krabs trying to fight all the other robots. Then when you try to defeat Roboplankton, Sandy can maybe have a lasso animation where she can lasso him, or SpongeBob could of course try to use a spin attack if he's close enough to the island, or he could use his bubble bowl while he's coming up, or you could use the cruise bubble, is what he always does. I also fixed some of the animations, guys. Also for the design of the game, I remember the first couple of screenshots of SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy that we got near the beginning of the game's announcement. I'll make the game try to look more like those screenshots than the actual game of Rehydrated. But guys, that is gonna be it for how I would remake Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, and you defeat the game. This would increase the total number of golden spatulas, guys, and yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. So guys, please be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys for the next video. And also, if you're THK Nordic or Purple Lamp and you're watching this video, please be sure to like and subscribe it, and maybe use some of the ideas I had in this video to maybe add a DLC to this game. And hopefully you guys I heard you guys are working on some stuff on Twitter. Hopefully it's either that BFBB sequel that we've always wanted, or maybe a sequel to Battle for Bikini Bottom, or maybe a movie game Rehydrated. I'd love to see a rehydrated version of the movie game. But bye guys, see you guys next time.